Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Lex and today I decided to draw my favorite animal. It is the red fox. I love foxes. They are so cool. And although they are part of the canine family, they are a lot more cat-like. You know other canines, they prefer to live in packs, they have pack behavior. Foxes are more solitary. They will live with their family for a short period of time, but they're mostly solitary. And actually, something that I learned very recently, foxes have vertical pupils just like cats do. Well, they are nocturnal, so that kind of makes sense. But their pupils change size depending on how much light is available to them, so they can see better in the dark when their pupils are really big. Which is fascinating. I had never known that. I guess a lot of people are getting into keeping foxes as pets. Personally, I think they are awesome. I don't know how they are as pets, but a lot of people think that foxes are silent and they aren't. I think they can make up to 12 different sounds, ? They can make a lot, and a lot of them are really loud. They can growl, but they can also scream, like straight up scream and shriek. It's a good time. It's a really good time. But yeah, the females, when they do their mating calls, it's really loud. Like a scream. Kinda ear-shattering if you're near it. They're cool animals though. I really enjoy them. They are my favorite animal. I think it's because they're almost a perfect mix between a dog and a cat. Oh, and I should mention, this one's in a weird position, right? Right? I think he's in a weird position. But this is how foxes hunt. They literally jump up into the air and nosedive right into the snow. Or the ground. They're pouncing predators. So cougars, they'll jump onto their prey from above, and foxes kind of do the same thing, except they go up like a rocket and down like a rocket, or down like a missile. And usually helps them to catch prey that is hiding under the snow, especially, which is where this guy is going to be set. And when they do it, they literally nosedive into the snow. If you haven't seen a video of it yet, check it out. It's really cute, and they are extremely effective hunters. They're also gluttons. It turns out that foxes will, even if they're not hungry, they have no reason to eat, they'll go ahead and catch food, and then they'll store it for later, so they'll bury it. And I knew that was true of Arctic foxes, because of all of the nature documentaries that I was subjected to. No, I love nature documentaries, even today. But when I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of them. And Arctic foxes are cute and they're fluffy, and I guess people like to make documentaries of them, so I never knew that red foxes did the same thing, where they're little gluttons and they'll go and catch a bunch of birds and a bunch of rabbits and all that, and then they'll just stash them for later. I wonder how much of that food actually goes to waste. I'm not sure. They're also very opportunistic predators, so they will happily eat birds, mice, rabbits, frogs, fish, berries, all sorts of things. They're mostly carnivorous, but they will occasionally eat, like, plant matter. Funny little guys. I know throughout history, foxes have always been considered clever, but in all honesty, I think they're more derpy, especially their hunting techniques, and there is a reason that they hunt like that. They actually use a magnetic field of the earth to pinpoint where their prey is. Now, I don't know the exact science of it, but I know that when they are facing north, 90% of the time, they will catch their prey. And when they're facing other directions, they rarely ever catch it. It's really weird, but foxes, man, they are really derpy. Even the noises they make are kind of derpy. High-pitched. Not very menacing at all. Even their growls aren't that menacing. might later decide to draw a fennec fox. Fennec foxes are the smallest species of fox, if I'm not mistaken, and they have super big ears. And if you know anything about me, I absolutely adore big ears. I think they're really cute. And they're a desert species though, and they're super tiny. I think they're like the size of a kitten, around that. But they aren't my favorite species. My favorite species is the red fox. And those black marks on his tail, they don't last long. I got sick of looking at them. They were hard to work with, so I went and I fixed them. Sometimes when you're working with layers, I started off with the black areas of him, so his paws, his ears, and those little areas on his tail, because in multiple reference photos, I actually predominantly only used 2 for this one. In the reference photos, they had like black shading in their tail, and I thought that was weird, but I decided to do it, and I decided I didn't like it. So I went back, fixed the layers, and was able to move on from there, which I always have to do. It's very common for artists to have to do. Sometimes things don't look like you want or expected them to, and then you just have to work around it. There are no mistakes. No mistakes, just work around it. Gave it a darker background to see how my fluff factor was doing. What I mean by fluff factor is how I'm working on the tail here. You want to make sure that the fur looks real, or looks normal. Right now it's rather flat, and so I think I went in and added some guard hairs to it to make it look more realistic, give it more volume. That's what I'm doing right here, right now, because nobody wants a flat fox. Be a very sad one. Fox with mange, maybe. More guard hairs. I'm telling ya, that's what makes it look realistic. Gotta put in that fluff. I think my favorite part in drawing this guy was probably the tail. It was also the hardest part, just because of the shading of it, the way that the light might have been hitting it, because I wasn't entirely sure where I wanted the light coming from, and I ended up switching it a lot. But I decided in the end that it was just going to be coming from the sky, right above him, which was why I gave him that light hazy color on the top to make it look like the light was coming down and hitting his fur from above. Right above. 12 o'clock. I used a different brush to make the snow. That was an adventure. It was actually a brush that I think is supposed to be used to make mountains, like mountains in the distance, but I just didn't. I used it for something else and it worked fine with me. Much better. I really like dark backgrounds. I just think it's, what's a good word? Dramatic. I like the drama of a dark background. And then I did the snow because, well, snow is really pretty when you don't have to drive through it every day. Or walk through it. Arguably worse. But Fox don't mind. Fox is having a good old time hunting. And adding in that final shading. And I decided that I needed to distinguish more between his head and his leg, because it kind of looked like he was just molding or melding together, melting into himself. So there he is. I gotta thank you guys for watching. You made it all the way to the end of the video. If you haven't subscribed, consider it. There'll be plenty more foxes, Pokemon, well, foxes, animals, Pokemon, a lot of other things, because I'm kind of all over the place. Thank you for watching. See you, bye.